I'm reviewing a video game what come out in '93, I think, or something. Best of the best. Championship Karate. Now this game gets stick. A lot of people say it's a terrible game. I don't think it's too bad. I give it a 6 out of 10. I give it a 6 out of 10. It's a fighting game. The part of the game is just to beat every opponent in the game and win the world championship, and then retire. Because the game doesn't really have an ending. I mean, it says world champion, and then that's the end of the game. Really, I mean, just loops. I mean, you can just keep fighting opponents forever. So there's really no ending to the game. It's just loops forever. So once you beat everyone in the game, you just turn the game off, or you beat the game. So you could play the game forever. Forever, it has no ending. Just loops. Once you beat every opponent, it just loops. So there's no point. Don't really have an ending to the game. You just beat all opponents. That's the plot, really. And then once you're the world champion, that's the end of the game, virtually, because the game doesn't say end of the game. It just wants you to play forever. Well, when there's no other goals, really. Once you beat every opponent, you beat every opponent. And then you top of the rankings, that's it. There's nothing left to do. The hardest opponent is obviously the world champion. It took me numerous tries to beat him. And then once I beat him. I beat the game, and here we are. I beat the game. The first opponent is obviously the easiest. I think it's called T-Song Po. Po is named. I think he was called from the 1989 Kickboxer film. Like the villain of that film was called Tong Po. He's called the easiest opponent in this game was T-Song Po, or whatever it was called. He's so easy. I was told we called him that from the movie Kickboxer. It's not him, obviously, but we just named him that, if you know what I mean. And I think he's from Thailand, the character in the game, like Tong Po was in the film. But about this game, best of the best championship career, I'll just explain what you do. It's a goodish game. I give it 6 out of 10. Would I play it again? No, I don't want to go through it again. It's not a great game. I give it 6 out of 10. I beat all the opponents. It's not really replay value. It took me about 4 days to beat the game because the enemies start getting tough and you've got to spend hours training. That's all there is. The plot of the game is nothing else I can say. You just beat every opponent in the game with your character. You can choose how your character looks. You can call your character what you want. You've got to make sure when you do training, you've got to make sure your character's like strong enough for the opponent. Otherwise, you'll lose likely. I always made sure my character was strong enough. So it took me a while to beat this game because I spent a lot of time training, training to make sure I was stronger than every opponent. And I lost to a few opponents the first time. And then it just loaded. When I lost, I never accepted the loss. I just put the password in because Fortune has a save feature and a password. Well, not a save feature, but a password. In the password system, if you go in the options menu, click password to the left, it'll tell you once you beat an opponent, it's recorded your progress. But yeah, it's an alright game. I beat it. Never going to play it again. I give it a 6 out of 10. And I think that's being generous as well, 6 out of 10. I mean, a lot of people hate this game. A lot of people I've seen, I mean, Stick, it gets on YouTube, and Stick, it gets off Google saying it's a terrible game and all that. It's one of the worst fighting games ever made. It's worse than this, but it's not fantastic, but it's better than a few. It's obviously loads far better as well, but it's not as bad as what people say it is. A 6 out of 10. Would I recommend you play the game? Yeah, play it once like me, and then once you beat it like I've just beat it before, put the game away, don't play it again, because it's not really replay value. 6 out of 10. I beat the game, I'll never go through it again. So I'll give this game a 6 out of 10. I beat it. I've no intentions of going through it again. I beat all the opponents. I beat the game. As soon as I was a world champion, it said world champion. It just loops, and you're just forced to fight the same old opponents again you've already beat. Just for points, basically. So it's just a looping game, basically. I'm not really a fan of games that loop, but I didn't mind this game. I beat the game. I beat all opponents. I beat the game. I'd never go through it again, though. But I beat it. Never going to go through it again. I'm delighted to have beat it because a lot of people, before I end it, a lot of people I've said they've struggled with this game. They've struggled with the poor controls. It does have poor controls. But I beat the game because I'm good at gaming. Legit about cheating. I beat the game. I beat all opponents. I beat the game. I'm the world champion. Then I just ended. Then I just turned the game off because it just loops. Like I said, I beat the game. I beat all opponents. I'm the world champion. My character's a world champion in the game, and that's it. That's the end of the game. It just loops. And you force fight every opponent again for points, basically. So it just doesn't end. So as soon as you beat all opponents, just turn the game off because you beat the game. There's nothing left to do. Just for points tally, basically. And actually, at the end of the game, my character was number one because I'm the world champion to beat every opponent in the game. I'm number one. So then it just loops, force you to fight every opponent again. You've already beat. Just for points, no point. You're at the top. You beat every opponent, not necessary. That's one thing that I don't like. It should have just give you an ending, shouldn't it? It should have just give you an ending instead of forcing you to just loop and fight every opponent again, even though you're world champion. Anyway, I don't like that, but if you did that, but anyway, 6 out of 10 this game. 6 out of 10.